shadows of Brimstone, Sons of Bitches Posse. Chapter 6. In the name of all that is sacred and profane, I recount our descent into that accursed pit. The entrance exuded a miasma of rot and decay, an odorous harbinger of the horrors that awaited us. It clung to our skin, searing our eyes, and each breath became a labor as though some unseen force sought to drag us into suffocating darkness. We pressed forward, the flicker of our lantern swallowed by the gloom. The ground beneath was treacherous, jagged rock threatening to send us tumbling. It was Bruce who first cried out, his boots smoldering as molten veins of fire twisted beneath the surface, glowing like the eyes of some slumbering beast. Each step felt like a gamble with death. In that first cavern, dread filled my heart. There, inscribed into the stone, was the sigil of Belial, the Dark Lord of Cinder, glowing with a baleful light. It felt as if the symbol watched us, mocking our presence, a cruel reminder of how insignificant we were before its power. We reached a chamber where rusted cages dangled from the ceiling, their chains creaking. Within them writhed the charred remnants of souls, eyes wide with terror, skin hanging in scorched strips. Their tortured moans reached us, and it was all we could do to press on, knowing there was nothing we could offer them except our pity. Turning a corner, the ground trembled, and two massive hounds, seemingly carved from stone, lunged at us, moving with unnatural speed. One barreled into me, its weight crushing, and its jaws snapped inches from my face. Desperation surged, and I drove the butt of my rifle into its skull. We fought furiously, bullets and blades clashing against stone until the creatures crumbled into dust. Our path took us into another cavern, where we faced a new horror, the scourges of Cinder. Skeletal forms emerged from the darkness, wrapped in scraps of flesh, their eyes glowing with infernal light. In their bony hands they wielded scythes and pickaxes that glowed red-hot. We fought them off, but for every one we felled, more crawled out from the shadows. The air grew thick with the scent of burning flesh, choking us as their hollow laughter echoed through the cavern. We hacked, slashed, and fired until our arms ached, each breath scorching our lungs. "Run!" I shouted, and we did, plunging deeper into the darkness, barely evading the flickering light of their unholy flames. We stumbled forward, knowing we could not outlast them. But our ordeal was far from over. In the next chamber we saw them, the succubi flickering between alluring beauty and monstrous horror. Their eyes gleamed with a malevolent hunger, and they moved with an eerie grace, drawing nearer, whispering promises of pleasure and pain. We, weakened and desperate, faltered, our exhaustion clouding our judgment. Eagle, mesmerized, reached out to touch one, only to have her claws tear through his face. Blood splattered across the ground as he screamed in agony. With a renewed sense of purpose, I scrambled behind a boulder, my heart pounding in my chest. Bruce, still composed, fired shot after shot, each one hitting its mark, but it was futile. The succubi seemed endless, emerging from the shadows, their laughter blending with our ragged breaths. Every swing of our weapons felt heavier, our bodies aching under the weight of this unholy place. In the end, broken and bleeding, we fled. We abandoned Bruce's parents, their cries echoing in the cavern as we stumbled into the pale light of dawn. The sun, weak and indifferent, did nothing to warm us or banish the horrors we had faced. Its light felt like a cruel reminder of our failure, and no amount of fresh air could cleanse the stench of death and fear that clung to us. We tended to our wounds in silence, our souls scarred by the darkness we had witnessed. When we boarded the train intending to return to that infernal place, fate twisted our path. Instead of heading back, we found ourselves moving north, toward a land known only in hushed whispers, the Badlands. As the train rattled on, I felt a chill seep into my bones, and I knew, deep within me, that our journey into the darkness was far from over.